Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of my Gear Up Ultimate Ironman. In RuneScape there are hundreds or even thousands of unique pieces of equipment, however most of it never ends up getting used. The reason being that RuneScape's been out for 20 years now and people know the most efficient route when gearing up your account. However, on this Ultimate Ironman account I'm going to be progressing through the gear upgrades in a linear fashion. So we're going to start with the Bronze Dagger and work our way up until we've collected nearly every item in the game, barring a few exceptions which would be clue scroll items, raid rewards, wilderness weapons, as well as a few other items. Now before I get started here, there's a few things I wanted to mention about how the rules work that people had questions about in the last episode. Now first up here, and most importantly, the way I upgrade my gear is going to be on a checkpoint system. So for example, if I manage to get my way all the way up until a mithril plate body and then lost it or dropped it, I wouldn't have to get all of the items below it again. And also, if the item was clearly not part of that combat tree, for example, the Staff of Fire has a +6 strength bonus, but I'm not going to be counting it as part of the melee tree, and on top of that, it's already unlocked through the magic tree. Anyway guys, if you are enjoying the series, I would appreciate it if you left a like, and let's get started. Now, there's just a few more things I want to get done before I start working on some of the tech trees for the gear. The main thing is I want to get done Fairy Tales Part 1 because it's going to save me so much time just running around. Now, the only other requirement I need for it is 31 crafting, and I'm actually just running back and forth between the charter ship and the furnace on Intranet, a pretty slow crafting method, but inexpensive and really the only option right now. So there is going to be level 31 crafting. Now, after I've done the early game quests I want, one question I've been thinking a lot about is which combat style do I want to start with? There is the melee tree, which is by far the longest. I don't think that would be the best option, although I could start grinding away at some of the earlier game weapons. Ranged has one of the shortest and simplest trees to go through, so I'll probably be focusing on that. And there's also magic, which has, again, a pretty short tree, and some of the robes are actually storable in my POH. But I think I may be leaning towards ranged just because all of the equipment is rather inexpensive. And that is it. There is the Lost City quest completed. Oh, well, that's awkward. And back through the door. There we go. There we go. Quest done. 3 quest points and access to Zenaris. Now, I'm just collecting a few items for the Nature Spirit quest. One of them that I actually need is a silver bar. And luckily, the silver merchant in Ardoon actually sells one. I mean, I could have just gone and mined one myself, but it's pretty convenient. And there we go. The ghost has been freed, the skull has been stolen, and the quest is done. Okay, I was here for 5 minutes actually punching these guys, but I had runes in my inventory the entire time. So this got a lot easier all of a sudden. Unfortunately, no staff to autocast it, but that should be the last cast. And that is the Nature Spirit quest done. We got a nice amount of crafting and defense experience, most importantly. I've been at 1 defense for a while, and you can really tell you just get wrecked by everything. But that'll bring us up to 13 defense, give us a bit of a shot, and up to 20 quest points, and almost none of those are free-to-play quests, so we could go ahead and do all of those and get like another 30 or so. Okay, and the last important quest I want to do here is Fairy Tales Part 1. And the only concerning part about this is the boss fight. Which for one is in an instant, but also you have to kill it with secateurs, and I only have 30 strength, which is going to be a very slow process. Okay, I got my 3 items and I really lucked out. I got snape grass, a lime, and kingworm. Very easy to obtain those guys. If you get really unlucky, I think you actually have to do the jungle potion quest or something like that, because one of the items is actually unobtainable for Ironman until you do that quest. Okay, one of my limes is rotted. I did bring 2 of each, as I didn't have the druidic pouch with me. Okay, we made it fine. That would have been really annoying to have to go back and get the lime again. I'm not really sure what else it rotted. I guess a wine, but I didn't think I could do that. Weird. Okay, we're going to enter the instance to do the boss fight. We do have to flinch it, as we don't have protection prayers, and we only have 30 strength, which should only give us a max hit of 2. I'm predicting it's going to take like 20 or 30 minutes to do this. Okay, that was pretty accurate, to be honest. I used my home teleport right before I started this fight, and it's almost back up again, so this has taken almost 25 minutes. Unfortunately, this is the only way to really do it before you have protection prayers or a higher combat level, but totally worth doing early. There we go, we got the secateurs. Okay, we got Fairy Tales Part 1 done, which gives us a bit of farming experience. Really nice on that one because it gets you all the way up to, I think, 17 farming. Now technically we actually have to start Fairy Tales Part 2 to get access to the Fairy Ring. Fairy Tales Part 2 is actually I think the least completed quest of all time because nobody actually does it after they've gotten the rings. I actually don't know what the reward is for this quest. I have never done it. Maybe on this account I'll get a quest cape. But there we go. We got the Fairy Rings unlocked. Okay, well, let's go somewhere else. And we got the Fairy Rings unlocked. Ah, god damn it. Okay, let's go to Canifis. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now that we've gotten the early game transportation methods unlocked, we're going to start working on actually the melee tree. I know I said it's not the one I'm going to go for early, and that is true. However, it is a long list of items, and as I'm using a checkpoint system, I can just go ahead and grab a few of them early, drop them, as I already have 40 attack, and I could theoretically use the Rune Scimitar. So if I could work on getting towards the Rune Scimitar now, this is just progress I won't have to do later. And of course, the very first item here is the Bronze Dagger, which luckily there's just one on a little cupboard here. And there it is. That is the first item in the melee tree, which is by far the longest one. And conveniently, right across the river is the Iron Dagger, located in this classic little goblin hideout here on the ground. And there we go. That is a +1 melee strength upgrade. Only 120 more to go. Now the next item here is the Bone Dagger, kind of an interesting one. It does have a quest requirement behind it, which is the Lost Tribe quest. Luckily it's a pretty low level quest, only requires 17 mining, 13 thieving, and 13 agility. It's a pretty good excuse just to level up those skills, so we'll go ahead and get the requirements now. Actually, the cake stalls are garbage. I don't really like them. The tea stall is much more chill, although this dog is kind of hounding me a bit. There's level 13 thieving, that is a requirement done, and next up we'll just go get level 17 mining. And there is level 17 mining, which means we can go ahead and start the Lost Tribe quest. We actually need to do Goblin Diplomacy, although I think we have to go out that way anyway for the Lost Tribe quest. Oh wait, I guess I need the Goblin Mail. Actually, doing the Lost Tribe quest is pretty good to do early as we've unlocked a suicide spot. If you come down here without a candle, you'll slowly die, and it's right close to Lumbridge, which makes it a pretty convenient spot to do it. Alright, totally forgot, there's actually goblin armor in these chests around the village, so don't actually have to go murder innocent goblins. We can just pick it up off the ground. Can you get it from the same chest in a different world? No, you cannot. Okay, well, I guess we'll have to go find the other 3. Okay, there we go. The Goblin Diplomacy quest is done. We got the gold bar, which I really should have planned this out better because I could have made something out of that. Because I can't really get gold bars until I have a higher magic level or a higher smithing level, but I think we're probably going to have to drop it. We came to a diplomatic arrangement between this weird goblin guy and the Duke Horatio. And there we go, Lost Tribe quest done. We got 3,000 mining experience, which is nice. That brings us to 22 mining. We can now get Volcanic Ash. We do have a Ring of Life, which I don't think fits into any of the other gear lists, so I'll probably just wear it. Not particularly useful though. And there we go, we can now trade Nardok for his Bone Dagger. We've also unlocked the Bone Crossbow for range, which will be really nice for later, and the Bone Club and some other things, which I think is on the list somewhere. Alright, the next upgrade is fairly simple. We just need to get the melee training weapon from the melee tutor, which is a lot easier than the last one, although we are going to destroy it right away. So I kind of feel like that is a little rude. Well, I wore it for a second, let's just destroy it now. Now, I think there's a store here you can buy bronze claws from. Oh. Now, I didn't actually know that had a thieving requirement on it. Okay, well that kind of screws my plan up a little bit. I guess we'll have to smith them, which means we have to do Death Plateau, which means we need to get a whole bunch of other requirements. Alright, well, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so for Death Plateau, I need to get 10 cooked trout, and the only realistic way to get that is just to cook it. Which means I need 15 fishing and cooking, and I, well, might as well do the Sea Slug quest now, as that will get me to 25 fishing right off the bat, which I think will be quicker than just fishing shrimp. Okay, I'm kind of dumb. Yes, I'll have 25 fishing now, but I still need cooking levels. It needs a cooked trout, which means I'll still have to go fish for shrimp. And with that last shrimp or anchovy, I don't know, that will be a level 15 cooking, which means we can go ahead and cook trout. The barbarian training spot is really good for Ultimate Ironman because there is a permanent fire there. So we have the requirements for that, so we can go train both up at any time now. Okay, we're taking a bit of a risk here. We're going to go get the iron bar spawn in the wilderness. And I'm actually going to drop some bread and grab 3 of them because I'll need one for the Knight's Sword quest, and there's no point in risking this again. The Death Plateau quest is actually good to do early again because it's very inventory restrictive. You need 10 cooked trout and 10 pieces of bread, and they have to be unnoted and delivered at the same time, along with you need some other quest items, so it's good to do now. If I died now, I'd be pretty unhappy, but I wouldn't be losing that much, so I'm just going to risk it. Now with all of that done, we can go ahead and start the Death Plateau quest, which we'll have to go back and get the bread, unfortunately. Okay, here you go, you greedy fuck. You can have all your trout and bread you want. I actually did drop a few things in my inventory to do that for him, so that's a little unfortunate. We don't have our nails anymore, but they weren't very expensive. And that is the Death Plateau quest completed. We got 3,000 attack experience. We can now make claws, which we actually got the steel claw right away. I legitimately spent like 10 minutes trying to find a stupid onion, but there we go. We got 4 red berry pie attempts. Oh, thank God. I did not know the burn rate was so bad on that pie, but there we go. Night Sword quest done. Really nice to get done early because there's 29 smithing right off the bat. So now we can actually smith quite a bit of the early game gear. We don't actually need to go buy it from shops. So we'll go ahead and go through some of the bronze stuff now, I think. Now, to make this a little more convenient, we can just go buy the bronze bar at the Shanty Pass shop. For whatever reason, he stocks 10 bronze bars, which is pretty convenient. We'll just go ahead and buy them out. And I'm pretty excited. We can go through a lot of the early game gear right now. Okay, well, first up here we have the bronze claws. There we go, we got a pair of bronze claws. That's another unlock. Now, one thing I forgot to mention earlier is that if items have the exact same strength bonus, I could get them in any order as they are theoretically of the same strength. However, I do need to get one of each of them, or 2 of each of them in this case by accident. Okay, there's the bronze mace done. Next up, we need the bronze sword. There is another unlock. Okay, we'll actually do some of the armor items as well. We got bronze plate legs here, and we'll also do the bronze plate skirt. I'll have to double check all of these items, but I think they are the weakest. We'll go for the bronze med helm and the bronze full helm as well. Okay, what else do we have here? We have the bronze scimitar, which is our next upgrade. After that, we need the bronze spear. Well, look at that, guys. We're already halfway to 99 agility. Now, I decided I actually wanted to work on a bit of my magic gear, and very conveniently, there's the Zamorak robe top, which is the weakest magic robe in the game that actually has a magic attack bonus. I will equip it for now, but I can easily get a wizard robe top later. One thing that is actually inhibiting me from progressing through my magical weapon category is the skull scepter, which means we need to collect 1 of each of the skull pieces. We got the first one on minotaurs already. Okay, we are very dry on the skull piece from the Dust Devils. We already got to 33 magic. I think we've killed 100 of them now, and the drop rate is about 1 out of 30. One really nice thing though is we're stocking up iron ore, which I'm going to keep for now. There it is, the bottom of the scepter. That took a long time, but we already collected over 100 iron ore and 20 nature runes, which will be handy very soon. I'm going to keep the iron ore as I will be able to superheat it eventually, and I don't really need the inventory space that much right now. We did run out of runes, so I need more money, but we actually ran into a bit of a problem. The Catapulon, the thing on the 3rd level of the Stronghold of Security, actually has a really high magical defense, so wasn't really able to kill it. So because of that, I'm just going to put that out for now. I'm going to keep the Skull Scepter and the right skull piece for now, as I'm probably going to go back there soon and maybe I'll be able to get it, but it was taking like 50 to 60 casts just to kill 1 of the Catapulon, that stupid green thing. Now what I'm working on now is I actually want to unlock the Ali Morrison's rune shop, which means I need to complete the feud quest, and actually to start that quest we need 30 thieving, so I thought I might as well do the fight arena quest as it does reward a bit of thieving experience. That is like the easiest quest in the game. Already up to 45 attack just from questing, and we're up to 20 thieving as well. There was 25 thieving. We could go steal from the fruit stalls, which are better XP per hour, but that would require us to get Hosidius House Favor, which I really don't want to do right now, so I think we'll just stay here all the way till 30. And there we go, there is 30 thieving. We can start the feud quest. Now beyond unlocking a shop that sells law runes and nature runes, we'll also get a bunch of thieving experience, which will get us from 30 to 37 thieving. Very convenient and a much quicker way to go about that than training it conventionally. I actually forgot my leather glove for the quest, however, with my 80 IQ play, we went ahead and killed a cow, tanned the hide, and made the gloves. So there we go. We can go ahead and start the quest. Ali Morrison should be around here somewhere. Not sure what is going on here. Now, luckily, I was able to safe spot the 2 bosses for this quest, and so we're pretty much done, I think. Anyway, we're getting a lot of random junk. Did we do the quest or not? Oh, okay, there we go. 15,000 thieving experience. That is a ton, getting us from level 30 to 37 just in one quest. That's really awesome. Now, the thing we actually want to do is the Rogue Trader minigame, and there are some quest requirements that I don't have. However, I think I should be able to unlock the rune shop without actually having all of the requirements. I think all I need is rune mysteries to unlock the runes. I'm not sure about that. We'll have to give it a try. I do like Sudokus, but am I actually going to do this entire thing? No, I don't think so. I'm going to stick it in the Sudoku solver. Okay, there we go. We did the Sudoku, and we now have access to the Rune Store, which has blood runes, law runes, nature runes, soul runes, and cosmic runes. A ton of very useful items for an Ultimate Ironman, because otherwise we need to get into the Magic Guild or go in the Wilderness, so those aren't really good options. So we're going to go ahead and buy 30 of the law runes so we can finally teleport to Falador, which is something we've been severely lacking for quite a while. I'm not really sure how many runes I want to carry on myself at once, but having all of the basic teleports would be pretty nice. Hey, there's the left skull half. We're actually just killing Ankus to train up my magic, and we have 3 out of the 4 parts now. We just need it from the catapult pawn. Unfortunately, it's so resistant to magic, we may have to wait until I get my range level up. Now, I want to train my magic up to 43, so I can use the superheat item spell. Once I have 43 magic and the tourist trap quest completed, we'll actually be able to smith iron darts in a fairly efficient manner. And from there, we'll use those to train up ranged. Maybe we'll even try killing the catapulton with the iron darts. Not sure if that's going to work, because I really do want that last skull piece, because I have 3 of them now. I feel it's dumb to drop it. Now, even though I have been, well, kind of distracted a little bit this episode, my 3 or so short-term goals are going to be finishing up Graceful, getting 40 construction, as well as unlocking iron darts and leveling up our ranged a bit. After having completed the entire gear progression for melee, magic, and ranged, ranged is definitely going to be the easiest, and I'll be able to get to higher level gear rather quickly, where when we compare that to melee, I have to go through like 75 or 100 pieces of gear just to get to the Rune Scimitar, where for ranged, I'll be able to do it in maybe 10 or 20. And there it is, there's level 43 magic. We can now use the superheat spell. And I think that's where I'm going to end it for today, guys. We got quite a bit of progress done today, a lot of quests, a lot of our lower skills leveled up, as well as I finally got through some of the early melee and magic gear. And in the next episode, I'm going to be focusing on ranged, getting that last skull piece, as well as working towards my other goals, which there are a ton of them right now. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.